Sometimes we live a life that is completely different from what we had planned, and this especially happens when we have kids. We start living for the children and forget about ourselves. We forget that without being called the mother of so and so, we are still us. We are still independent human beings. And this has happened to a lot of women, and I think even men who have become fathers. But for me, I think it affects women more. And today I want to talk about reinventing yourself into becoming the person you want to become and not the person you are. Hello, my name is Goreti Mia. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, welcome back. To turn yourself into the person you want to be, it's first it's important to identify the patterns, the behaviors, and the activities that do not serve any positive purpose in your life. Maybe it did serve a certain purpose, but it no longer does, and it's important to change these factors. Once you have changed these things, it's possible to opt for better options. And while these things might be either emotional, spiritual, or even physical, they have a lot to do with your life, and they have a lot to do with who you are and who you want to become. Other than the emotional and spiritual factors that can be changed to reinvent ourselves, you can also change other external factors such as career, appearance, location, and relationships. These are factors that affect who we are and who we become. And it's important when reinventing yourself to take into consideration these factors. To reinvent yourself into the best version of yourself, it's also important to change your behavior. This includes mannerism, walking style, the way you talk, language, and many other factors that many people notice. What people notice first when they meet you is and give them the best impression, and the first impression is your appearance. The first impression you give people when they meet you is very important because they are going to be judging you based on that impression. So it's important when you meet people for the first time to be presentable. You have to dress nicely, you have to look uh, presentable. Nowadays, there is like makeup, it can change someone, it can cause a really, really big transformation if you know how to use it. If you don't, there are makeup artists who can do this for you. And I personally think that even though I'm not a big fan of makeup, but I think it's good to make that effort to look presentable. The way you dress speaks a lot about who you are, and people will judge you based on your clothes. If you're wearing something that is not flattering to your body, something that looks like you just picked it up out of nowhere and just put it on, then it's going to affect your image. And your image is important in giving people a good impression. Say if you're going out, you need to know where you are going, the people you are going to meet, the kind of place you are visiting, so that you can dress appropriately. This shows that you care about yourself, you care about who you are, and this gives people a good impression. Another thing that you must really, really, really put effort in is how you talk. You might look presentable, you might dress really nicely, look sexy, and people see you and they are like, wow, she's beautiful. But the moment you open your mouth, everyone will want to hide because of the things you say, because of the language you use. So you need to learn how to use the proper language depending on where you are. The way you walk is also important. It's important because it still shows what kind of person you are. Are you confident in yourself? It shows through your walking style. If you walk like you're about to fall, or if you walk like you really didn't even want to get out of bed in the morning, this shows that you are either lazy or you are not confident in yourself. And the type of shoes you wear contribute significantly to the way you walk. If you don't know how to walk in heels, please do not wear them unless you learn fast. Don't wear heels when you can't walk in them, because they are going to embarrass you. They are going to give people an impression that you try too hard to impress. Because if you are really confident in yourself, you can simply wear flats, you can wear sandals, you can wear wide soled shoes or sneakers or whatever, and you'll still look presentable. So since we are talking about reinventing yourself, reinventing ourselves into the best versions of who we are, we need to learn how to prioritize ourselves. Prioritize yourself. Don't get lost in the responsibilities of being a mother, responsibilities of being a father, responsibilities of being the breadwinner in your family. Don't forget yourself because of these responsibilities. While you fulfill the responsibilities, it's important to remember who you are. Prioritize yourself. Take your me time and ask yourself, who am I? Or who do I want to become? This is the first stage into reinventing yourself. Learning to prioritize yourself and loving yourself helps you to discover your self-worth. Most of us have forgotten that we have value. Without the other people in our lives, without our careers, without any other thing that is associated with us, we by ourselves have value. We have our self-worth. And without prioritizing yourself, without practicing self-love, you cannot discover your value. You cannot discover your self-worth. So it's important to love yourself first, because once you love yourself, then you give an opportunity to others to love you back. You also give an opportunity to yourself to build relationships that help you to grow, that help you to become better. So it's important to prioritize yourself. It's important to learn to love yourself, because then you give others an opportunity to love you and to discover your value and your self-worth. And this is important because it can also contribute into your career and basically your future. To reinvent yourself, first you need to figure out what or who you want to become. Ask yourself, at the end of the road, I'm starting this reinvention journey, but at the end of the road, who do I want to become? Who do I want to be? What do I want to be doing? What do I want others to see in me? Ask yourself these questions before you start the journey, because this is going to be like a roadmap for your invention journey. It's going to be what guides you to become the best version of yourself. I just said that to reinvent yourself, you need to figure out first who you are, so that you can figure out who you want to become. But it's important to remember that you need to focus on who you want to become. Do not get lost in the process of figuring out who you are, because then you are going to go back to where you began. You are going to go back to square A, and that it doesn't make sense at all. So it's important to start figuring out, who am I and who do I want to become, so that it can guide you into becoming the best version of yourself. I'm not going to talk too much on this topic, because I believe you have already uh, understood the message I was trying to pass across. And you need to remember that the biggest issue that pulls us down is having a negative mindset. So it's important to change our mindset into that of abundance. Having a mindset of abundance is important into our self-reinvention journey. So have a mindset of abundance. Don't see negativity in everything you do or everything you see. Don't see negativity in everything around you. A mindset of abundance can guide you into success. It can guide you to live a positive life. It can guide you to develop relationships that help your growth. So it's important to have a mindset of abundance, and in my next video I'm going to discuss 10 reasons why you should develop a mindset of abundance. So this is where I say goodbye. See you in my next video. Bye.